ESPN, the Total Sports Network, presents College Basketball 84. From Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, it's the Virginia Cavaliers versus the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, moments away from tip-off in this basketball game between the Virginia Cavaliers and the host North Carolina Tar Heels. As far as this rivalry is concerned in recent years, Virginia has not beaten North Carolina here since Ralph Sampson's sophomore year. Looking at the Virginia starting lineups, there's Jim Miller, Tom Sheehy, the freshman, the 6'9" freshman from Rochester, New York, Olden Polynice, a 6'11" freshman from All Hallows, New York. In the backcourt, there's Rick Carlisle, a 6'5" senior guard from Ogdensburg, New York. And the spark plug of this team, Othell Wilson, a 6-foot senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. Now looking at the starting lineup for the nation's top-ranked basketball team, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Matt Doherty, a 6'8" senior from East Meadow, New York. Sam Perkins at the other forward, averaging 17.7 points a game, a 6'9" senior from East Latham, New York. Brad Doherty, the 6'11" sophomore center from Black Mountain, North Carolina. One backcourt spot is Kenny Smith, the freshman from Queens, New York, at 6'2.5". And of course, Michael Jordan, the 6'6" junior from Wilmington, North Carolina. Quite a lineup there, Dick Vitale. Both teams now getting final instructions from their coaches, Dean Smith of the North Carolina Tar Heels and Terry Holland of the Virginia Cavaliers. North Carolina coming into tonight's ball game with a 12-0 record. Virginia 11-1.
You know, Rich, it's going to be very, very important as we look at Terry Holland, who's done really a great job in the post-Sampson era, and he's been maligned by so many of the critics last year for not winning the national championship. And then we look at the Hall of Famer, Dean Smith, and his record is just impeccable. But it's so important here tonight for Virginia to establish itself in the first 10 minutes. If they let Carolina get out of the gate and get up 8, 9, or 10 on them, I think it's going to be a long, long night.
Terry Holland very concerned tonight about the inside play. He feels that will be the key. Sam Perkins is going to be jumping against the freshman, Olden Polynice. John Clockerty puts the ball up. We're underway from Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill, Carolina, possession.
Well, Virginia will jump an immediate man-to-man.
Jordan over to Kenny Smith. Matt Doherty. Back out to Kenny Smith. Tar Heels starting over again.
Very poised freshman, number 30. As Perkins out on the wing.
Michael Jordan playing with a damaged right thumb. It is taped. Perkins outside in the air in the bucket.
Well, Sam Perkins, he's just playing outstanding basketball in his senior campaign. All the critics that said he was lazy and he didn't play with a lot of emotion, forget it. He's just a poised super athlete.
They just don't know the young man. Carlisle, right-hand corner, hounded by Jordan. Underneath. Sheehy puts it up, banks it off the glass and in. 2-2 game.
You know, Rich Sheehy was one of the most heavily recruited youngsters in America, and he's an interesting story. There were reports that he wanted originally to play for Carolina, and they didn't think that he was really that good enough to play at this level. They deny it.
Kenny Smith goes for the alley-oop to Brad Doherty. Wasn't looking for it, so we'll come down the other direction. 18 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the first half of play, just underway from Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill. 2-2 ball game, North Carolina and Virginia. Othell Wilson to Polynice, underneath to Sheehy. Sheehy, the head fake, puts it up, banks it up a little bit too hard. Sam Perkins with a rebound out to Kenny Smith, and here we go.
Good backdoor cut by Sheehy, just did not convert, but a good move without the basketball.
Michael Jordan, left-hand side, 15-footer up and in, nothing but net.
Well, Carlisle's got to respect him a little bit more than that. He's got to come out and deny him the basketball. You can't allow him to get the ball from 15 feet because he can absolutely murder you.
4-2, North Carolina by a bucket, early stages of the first half. Wilson throws it away, intended for Carlisle.
They do such a great job, Rich, of denying and cutting off passing lanes, and they create a lot of turnovers.
Defense has always been the great calling card for North Carolina, really the cornerstone of their success.
Well, they change defenses quite a bit, and they really rotate to the zones, the man-to-mans, matchups.
Matt Doherty has the shot, takes it this time. A little bit too hard, it bounces right back in. You're living right when you do that.
Well, they're playing very soft defensively on the inside people and aggressively on the guards. And Doherty had the open jumper and he put it down.
6-2, North Carolina. Miller, pass off of Brad Doherty's foot. Virginia should retain possession, and that's what John Clougherty says is the case.
Well, Virginia did an excellent job of posting up in the middle. Miller against the half-court trap.
Sheehy doing the inbounding for the Cavaliers. Othell Wilson immediately clamped on by Smith and Doherty. Wilson into the lane, pass batted away. Sheehy up with it, banks it up, banks it in.
I'm really impressed with Sheehy. He's really playing with a lot of what I call vitality, and he's not intimidated at all by the Carolina Blues.
4 points for Tom Sheehy, the freshman from Rochester, New York. Matt Doherty in the lane, shots up no good. Othell Wilson the rebound. He leads the charge down court. Works in on Smith. Rejected by Michael Jordan.
Well, Jordan goes up in the sky and he said, Othell, get it out of the lane because I'm not letting you deliver here, baby.
Rick Carlisle picked up immediately by who else? Michael Jordan. Sheehy driving in, ball's knocked out of bounds. Good defensive play by Matt Doherty. Virginia retains possession underneath the Cavaliers basket.
Sheehy's playing with a lot of authority, isn't he, for a freshman?
Maybe was a little upset with what you said there. Maybe that was the case.
Well, there he is driving to the goal. Ball's deflected out of bounds.
Carlisle rejected that time by Michael Jordan. Kenny Smith on the break. Oh!
Oh, the freshman
Double
super.
clutch.
New York City, they're dancing in the Big Apple. They love Kenny Smith.
Wilson, 17-footer, no good. Loose basketball out of bounds. And Carolina gets the basketball. They have the lead, 8-4. 16.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, Terry Holland right now is very, very upset. He knows he can't let them get out of the gate. We're not going to get the crowd as the sixth man behind him. Build that momentum.
Kenny Smith giving the signal to get things started, get things moving. Brad Doherty underneath to Matt Doherty in the lane. Over to Jordan, head fake. Working the baseline. Over to Smith, Matt Doherty, Sam Perkins.
Virginia really jamming inside. They really play well defensively. Excellent defensive position.
Looks like they're setting it up for Matt Doherty to really do the shooting out there. That's what Virginia wants. And Doherty shot a lot more here in the early goings than he has in the last few ball games for a half.
Well, if you leave him open, he's going to shoot that open jumper. I call him the intangible man. He does so many good things on the floor.
Carlisle fouled by Kenny Smith. That is the first foul of the ball game.
You know, last year they had Jimmy Braddock at the point, and I always felt that Jimmy was really a number 2 guard, a long-range shooter who had to adjust to the point. And now they're playing Kenny Smith, who is an absolute true point guard.
We have a timeout on the court with a score: North Carolina 8, Virginia 4. Back with more right after this. Is the score here. North Carolina leading Virginia. 15 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Well, you know, Carolina can hurt you in so many ways. You look at the sideline at the Carolina basketball team. They have role players, and then they have the 2 superstars and a potential superstars. We look at the coaching staff. Eddie Fogler, Bill Guthridge, he's whispering. What are you telling him, Bill? Tell us what you're telling him. Come on, share that secret with us. He's saying, Dean, I'm going to go get you another great superstar. Don't worry about it. He said, after Michael leaves and Sam leaves, we're going to get more and more. And there's Terry Holland. What a job he has done this year. 11-1. And hey, by the way, Ralph Sampson, has he proven that he's a pro superstar?
The only rookie selected to the NBA All-Star team.
Well, the only rookie who's really what I call an A-plus player right now and really deserves the honors of being on the All-Star team. He's going to be one of the great NBA players of all time.
Steve Hale into the Carolina lineup, replacing Michael Jordan. Back to play.
They go to a run and jump defense where they trap to try and speed up the tempo of the game.
Wilson underneath the Jimmy Miller. Jump hook up and in.
Nice jump hook by Miller inside. Seals off the defense with the left hand. Good jump hook from Princeton, West Virginia, where it was heavily recruited.
Cuts Carolina's lead down to just 2, 8-6.
I'm really surprised the way they're playing off the guards. I thought they would have pressured a little bit more on the backcourt people.
Smith to Sam Perkins.
They're really jamming inside, sacking.
Perkins shot up, no good. Jimmy Miller clears the rebound over to Othell Wilson. Down court right away to Jimmy Mullen. Into Carlisle in the lane, puts it up, rolling around, no good. Alanis with a rebound, banks it up, banks it in, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game. 14:50 remaining in the first half.
Alanis is a real surprise. Came in unheralded, 6'10" from out of All Harrells High School in New York City, and it's really been a pleasant surprise for Virginia.
Sheehy with a rebound. And we've got a whistle. And a personal foul being called on Matt Doherty. First personal foul of the evening on Matt Doherty.
I like Michael's hairdo, Jordan. It's starting to grow. See, I try to let mine grow as we look here at the front lines. Lost to graduation, Virginia. Yeah, all Ralph Sampson, 27.5, and UNC zilch.
Kent Needland coming into the Virginia lineup.
You know, Michael's hair, it's growing back. Mine doesn't grow back, Rich, and I try it.
Michael shaved his head for the game about 10 days ago with North Carolina. Kent Needland coming in, replacing Tom Sheehy.
Needland gives them tremendous defense inside. He's one of the better defensive players in America, and he's also an outstanding rebounder. He's wearing goggles, by the way, that belong to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
They look like a pair of glorified racquetball goggles. Oh, there's a rejection from Sam Perkins, and a whistle on the play, though. And a personal foul being called against Matt Doherty. That's his second personal. He's not happy with the call. Third team foul on the North Carolina Tar Heels. Score tied 8-8, 14-20.
There's the rejection right there. There's Sam Perkins with the long arms. Just takes away any kind of inside play. His intimidation is the reason teams only shoot 42%, Rich, against Carolina.
Needland out front, hounded all the way by Sam Perkins.
Got to really reverse the ball when they go into that trap and bring it to the weak side and try to get the layup from the weak side.
Wilson out front, guarded loosely by Matt Doherty. Over to Carlisle. He's guarded by Michael Jordan, who's back into the ball game.
They're always trying to invite the double team where they run and jump from the wing.
Carolina's defense denying Virginia what they want. Wilson working it in, stopping, putting it up, no good. Rebound, Sam Perkins. Out to Steve Hale. Here come the Tar Heels. Hale, the sophomore from Jenks, Oklahoma. Perkins into the lane, stopping, looks for the shot. Tough whistle on the play. Personal foul on Kent Needland. That'll be his first foul and the first team foul against Virginia.
Sam's playing with a lot more authority this year. He's really playing like a senior All-American leadership. You know, there were many All-American teams preseason that didn't include Perkins. They had Tisdale and Keith Lee at the forward slots, but right now Lee's been really subpar this year. Hasn't played like an All-American as we look at Terry Holland and Perkins. I would say right now, if you were picking an All-American team, would have to be a first-team selection.
Sam Perkins averaging 17.7 points a ball game at the line, shooting two. First one's up and in.
You know, North Carolina has 4 block shots already, all because of this guy on the foul line. I know Jimmy Boeheim of Syracuse, every time he sees Perkins, he gets a little nervous because there was a great chance that he would have stayed home in New York State. Syracuse would have been awesome with Perkins in the middle.
Steve Hale and Kenny Smith back into the lineup for the North Carolina Tar Heels. 10-8, North Carolina by a bucket.
Watch Michael Jordan try to leave his man and double up on a basketball. He really does that quite often on a floor.
Here's the field goal shooting so far, Dick. Virginia only shooting 33%.
Well, that's because of the 4 block shots and the intimidation by the front line of Carolina.
Carolina shooting 50% for the game so far. Kenny Smith being guarded closely by Othell Wilson.
Kenny Smith played for a great high school coach, Jack Curran, over at Archbishop Malloy in New York City.
Jordan working in on Jim Miller, and Miller will be called for the personal foul. First foul of the evening on Jimmy Miller. Michael's moves are so quick, though.
He's got a great first step, Rich. Great first step.
Peterson to Kenny Smith. 17-footers up, no good. Matt Doherty with a rebound. Gets it out to Buzz Peterson. Michael Jordan, he works it in, puts it up, banks it up a little bit too hard. Jordan with his own rebound, puts it up, he's got a whistle. No basket. And Kent Needland called for the personal, and Kenton didn't like that call.
Well, that's one of the greatest assets of Michael Jordan, the great jumping ability, the quick jump. He doesn't have to reach down for a second effort. He goes right up real quick, explosive to the basket.
Tom Sheehy checking into the lineup for the Virginia Cavaliers. He'll come in for Jimmy Miller. Ricky Stokes coming in. He'll be replacing Rick Carlisle. Stokes is a make-things-happen type ball player, Dick. He's a great man to come off the bench. He's kind of like a little gnat. You can never get rid of him.
Well, he leads them in steals with 23 as we take a good look at, there he is, America's premier talent inch for inch. There is no doubt about it.
Shooting two, first shot's up and in. 3 points tonight for Michael.
I get calls all the time and everywhere I go. Dick Vitale, you love Michael Jordan. You're canonizing him. Hey, come and watch him play. He's just a coach's dream, an absolute delight.
Well, the thing with Michael is Carolina goes on top 12-8. 12 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the first half. Michael is the same now as he was when he was a freshman.
Notice how they try to invite you into a double team constantly, Rich. They're always fanning to the sideline and rotating over with the wing forward.
Virginia have a lot of trouble tonight actually working that basketball around. They're getting a lot of passes, but they're not really penetrating passes.
There's the double team.
Sheehy in the Polynice, loses the handle, comes up with it, puts it up and in. Good second effort there by the freshman, Olin Polynice. 4 points for Polynice.
Well, that's where you want to really go. You want to go into the gut of the defense, and you want to utilize him not only as a scorer, as he did in that case, but he's in great position to pass against the trap.
Kenny Smith works it into the lane, and there's Ricky Stokes getting a handle on the ball. North Carolina coming back up with it. Underneath the Perkins, broken up again. And let's see who the whistle's on. It looks like it's on Ricky Stokes. For Ricky Stokes, that's going to be his first personal foul and the 4th team foul on the Virginia Cavaliers. 12-10, North Carolina by 2. Whistle this time. Dean Smith liked the call.
Well, Dean now in his 23rd season has over 500 victories already. As we take a look, there's the lob over the top. There's the contact inside.
Well, we're going to have a lineup change here quickly by Terry Holland. Jimmy Miller is going to be coming back in because Kent Needland just picked up his 3rd foul. And he came in off of the bench too, Dick. And we have 12 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, that was the history of Edelin last year. He'd always get into foul trouble. And this year it's sort of been eliminated. He's been playing a lot of minutes, not getting in foul trouble. But tonight he's jumped right into the same mold again.
That is the 15th foul on the Virginia Cavaliers.
He's happy with something. He's got that smile on. I'd be happy too if I knew I was going to war every day with a Perkins and Jordan and a Smith. Looks like we had a technical call.
Apparently that was the case. I wonder if it was a case somebody slammed the ball down on the court. We'll know in a minute whether it's a 1 or a 2-shot technical. Sam Perkins shooting it. Apparently it was on a player. Might have been the way Edelin put the ball down or something like that.
We talked about Terry Holland a little bit earlier. Had a great career over at Davidson College. You know, he played for Lefty Driesell and was an outstanding player for Davidson, and then won big while he was at Davidson, where he posted a 92-43 record and has totally 285 wins going into this season.
Lefty still rates Terry as one of the 5 best players he's ever coached. Sam Perkins at jump hook. Joe Wolf taps it up and in. Joe Wolf, the freshman from Kohler, Wisconsin.
Well, Joe's brother played here several years ago, and everybody wanted him. I know they wanted him out at Marquette University, but he decided to be a Tar Heel, and they expect big things from him in the future.
15-10, North Carolina by 5, biggest lead of the ball game. 11.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Carolina's defense is really the reason. They're really putting a lot of pressure on the ball.
Well, you talk about that. Kenny Smith triggers the steal over to Buzz Peterson. Back to Smith, backs it up. No good. It's in. Who put it in? I don't think they're going to count it because the ball was in the cylinder.
Should be no basket. It definitely was on the cylinder, Rich. Good call by the official, Tom Frame.
I think the officials were in agreement on that too, because the trailing official, John Clockerty, was immediately waving no basket. 15-10, North Carolina on top of Virginia by 5. We'll be back right after this. Getting ready to resume action here.
You know, Rich, it's really important that the Virginia guards start putting some points on the board. Up to this point, Virginia's backcourt has not scored. Othell Wilson's on the sideline right now, and they need some scoring out of Othell when he gets on the floor.
Well, there was Ricky Stokes losing the handle right there, cutting in. Kenny Smith inbounding the ball.
They lined up in a tandem, an I formation to get the ball in bounds. They do a great job of initiating their offense and getting good ball movement. Notice how Virginia's sagging inside. They're really jamming up inside, taking away any kind of posting move by Carolina.
Jordan loses the handle temporarily, but comes back up with it. Kenny Smith, and he'll be called for traveling on that.
So a lot of good things can happen when the ball's entered to your wing area. He's signaling the defense right now, Kenny Smith is. He's like an extension of Dean Smith on the floor, because Dean does a multiple of different things defensively.
Well, here's the backcourt matchup we were talking about, Dick. Carolina outscoring Virginia 6-0, also out rebounding them, and we'll have an offensive foul. Offensive foul on Tom Sheehy.
He's a very intense competitor. He really is going to be a blue chipper. We take a look at it. He wheels to the basket and he leans in. The defensive player is entitled to that position. That is called the principle of verticality. I like that description.
16 foul on Virginia, first on Sheehy. Buzz Peterson, and he'll be called for traveling, and that's something you won't see too often, Dick Vitale. Carolina coming up, turning it over twice on traveling calls.
Well, that's a good point, because they only turn over the basketball at a ratio of about 14 a game, and Dean Smith's basketball teams pride themselves on execution. There's a good trap.
Polynice way out front. I know Terry Holland would prefer not having him that far out.
Oh, he's playing a little two-man basketball with the screen at the post. You're dead in the air. They're going to trap on a wing.
Nice move by Jim Miller, but he got a little bit too aggressive with it. No basket. Traveling or charging on Jim Miller. That'll be his second personal.
Well, there's the trap on a wing. Stokes does a great job to get out of there. Miller does a super job of sealing off. And there comes the charge as Doherty rotates over. Look at that angle where Doherty comes over 42, squares his body. Great team concept defensively, and this is why this team is successful. They really execute team-wise every phase of the game.
Brad Doherty held his ground well. Doherty out front to Michael Jordan on the right-hand side to Buzz Peterson. He takes that shot. And no good.
That's his shot. Peterson is a really good long-range shooter. You wouldn't be able to believe that if you look at his stats right now, Rich, for the season, shooting 43%. He's a much better shooter than that. Remember, he's coming back from that knee surgery from last year.
Steve Hale checking into the lineup for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Buzz Peterson and Michael Jordan coming out, and Matt Doherty getting back in there for Carolina. Rick Carlisle brings it up court for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Once you turn your back with the basketball, you can expect a double team.
Stokes on the left, hounded by Kenny Smith. Olin Polynice. Matt Doherty won't let him have the shot. Gets it to Jim Miller. He stops, puts it up, rolling around. No good. Rebound there by Merrifield. No good. Matt Doherty gets the rebound up court to Kenny Smith. Steve Hale. Hale underneath to Brad Doherty. Back to Hale. Fakes the shot. Kenny Smith, 15-footer. A little bit too hard. Rebound, Olin Polynice over to Ricky Stokes. And here we come the other direction. Carlisle stops. Banks it up. Banks it in. 15-12.
Carlisle is an excellent backboard shooter. He's out at a University on Maine where he transferred after 2 excellent years in the East. Came here at Virginia. Was a plus player for him last year. Good wing shooter.
15-12, North Carolina by 3. First 2 points of the evening for Rick Carlisle.
Constant substitutions as you see a group coming back in right now. Wilson, Perkins, and Jordan.
3 players that could make any coach happy. And North Carolina is going to retain possession of the basketball.
Dean does a lot of rotating with his people. He tries to keep them physically ready, especially for the stretch drive, and he likes to get people in a basketball game early so they can get a feel for the game.
Ricky Stokes out for Virginia. Matt Doherty and Joe Wolf being replaced in the North Carolina lineup.
This is the only time Virginia will zone. They'll zone on the inbounds from the baseline.
Steve Hale on the left-hand side into Brad Doherty in the lane. Soft jumpers up and good.
That's great execution. They step into the gap of the zone. They see the open seam. They find the open man, Doherty. Very unselfish basketball team. There's the double up.
There's Jimmy Miller. And we're going to have a whistle. whistle on the play, and a personal foul called on Michael Jordan. It'll be his first of the evening, and the 4th team foul on North Carolina.
Well, Virginia did a great job right there, posting up in the open area and then zigzagging the ball to the wing.
First foul on Jordan. 4th team foul.
We take a look right there. There's the post up by Merrifield. Kicks it out to the wing. He alters his shot. They force you to do a lot of shot changing. Not only do they block shots, but they do a lot of intimidating that forces you to change your shot.
We'll send Jim Miller, a 56% free throw shooter, to the line, shooting 2. First one's up and good.
As we look at Terry Holland again on the sideline, a very intense competitor. Look at the intensity on his face. You know, Miller was the #1 in many people's minds, the #1 6th man in America last year.
Timeout.
Well, Jim Miller puts them both up and both in. 4 points tonight for Jimmy Miller. We have a timeout on the court with a score. North Carolina 17, Virginia 14. 7 minutes and 57 seconds to go in the first half. We'll be back after this. This is Rich Brenner along with Dick Vitale bringing you tonight's exciting ACC basketball action from Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. North Carolina leads Virginia 17-14.
Well, Rich, I want to really say it's enjoyable working with you. My partner, as we look at the statistics right here, Virginia's 6 for 16 and Carolina's 6 for 16, 5 for 5 on a free throw line. We haven't had a free throw missed yet. But, you know, I just want to say Jim Simpson, who I was supposed to work with today, we both did the Maryland-Clemson game. He got snowed in Washington and couldn't get here. And you come on as a fill-in, and I'm telling you something, you prepared mighty quickly, and you deserve a lot of credit.
Well, thank you. Back to action here. Sam Perkins over to Matt Doherty to Michael Jordan. Jordan working it in, backs it up a little bit too soft that time. Carlisle up court for the Virginia Cavaliers. Othell Wilson, Jimmy Miller, and he'll be called for traveling. Dave Dodge right there for the call.
Seen a lot of walking violations. As soon as you get that fake, you look at Jimmy Larranaga. You know, he's the guy responsible for a lot of these kids from New York City coming over here to Virginia, especially from the New York area. Polynice is one, Tim Mullins from New Jersey's another, Merrifield, and they've signed a couple of really good ones from out of New York City, John Johnson and Mel Kennedy, Howard Memorial High School.
Hale's pass underneath intended for Brad Daugherty is knocked out of bounds. They say it was off of Brad Daugherty. So Virginia gets the basketball, trailing by 3, 17-14, 7:04 remaining in the first half here from Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Well, I'm sure Dean's not happy with their offensive execution. They're not really getting the rhythm and flow that they'd like offensively.
Othell Wilson clamped there by Steve Hale, and will have a jump off. And Virginia will retain possession on the alternate possession rule.
Well, Othell made a major mistake that you wouldn't expect an experienced player to make. He pulled up on his dribble, and therefore he allowed them to double him up and forced the 5-second rule, which no, it wasn't a 5-second. I'm sorry. It was a tie-up. It was a tie-up. My fault right there, Rich. They tied him up for the jump ball situation.
Kenny Smith back in, checking in for Matt Doherty. Here's Merrifield turnaround, blocked by Brad Daugherty. Othell Wilson, long-range jumper, no good. Tap in by Polynice, no good. Still a loose basketball, and Virginia will retain possession.
They got to get Wilson really off where he's got to hit that perimeter jumper as Holland trying to applaud his troops, getting him. There's the trap.
Virginia's guards so far, Dick, have only scored 2 points tonight. Carlisle underneath. Oh, he's almost tied up. He gets it out to Othell Wilson. Back to Carlisle.
Carolina's zoning right now, 2-3 set. Matching up.
Wilson, jumper, top of the key. He hits. Othell must have heard us talking about it there. First 2 points of the night for Othell Wilson. Brings Virginia back to within 1, 17-16. North Carolina by a point. Sam Perkins, Kenny Smith, Michael Jordan. Jordan working, stopping. Whoa, good defense there by Merrifield. Othell Wilson down court right away for the Virginia Cavaliers. To Polynice, over to Carlisle. He takes the open jumper, and Virginia's got the lead for the first time this evening, 18-17. 4 points for Rick Carlisle.
Well, Virginia did a great job of ball reversals, swinging the ball to the open man for the jumper by Carlisle, and he'll hit that open jumper all day.
Let's give Virginia a lot of credit for having some poise here, too. They've scored 8 of the last 10 points in this basketball game. Steve Hale puts Carolina back on top. 19-18, first 2 points of the evening for Steve Hale.
Hale's shooting the basketball a lot better this year than he did in his freshman year. Comes from a family of basketball. His dad was the former coach of Oral Roberts.
Whoa, great defense there by Kenny Smith. He gets it up to Michael Jordan. Look out, backs it up and in.
What a tremendous play. Two-man transition basketball. Smith really lost control of the ball, but yet had enough of poise to make the great bounce pass to Jordan.
Michael Jordan scored the basket, but Kenny Smith made it happen. Miller driving in. It's blocked. Up court to Michael Jordan. There's Michael. Jackknife it up and in.
What an acrobatic move. I mean, that is an absolute major league super move. He's slapping skin. They're going bananas here at Chapel Hill, and I'm going bananas way up in the roof. Take a look at this one. The tongue comes out. He hangs in the air. Hang time. Lays it up. Gets fouled, and up he goes to the foul line. Yes, get your Naismith trophy out. That is going to be the player of the year.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Michael Jordan looking for the three-point play. 8 points so far in the first half for Michael Jordan. North Carolina back on top by 5, 23-18. That equals their biggest lead of earlier in the evening.
Hey, Michael, I don't want to get carried away. I'm already offering you the Naismith and a John Wooden Award, but there's a kid down in Oklahoma, waving Tisdale, says, hold it, Vital, hold it. That trophy might be mine.
Michael Jordan looking for the three-point play, and he's got it. 9 points for Michael Jordan as he goes 3 for 3 on the night from the foul line. Carolina up by 6, their biggest lead of the evening, 24-18. Cecil Exum checks into the lineup for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan playing with a taped right thumb, we might add, and he is a right-handed player.
Well,
he plays with both hands, but you know, he's that good, but he's dominantly a right-hander.
Rick Brewer, the SID, told me it's not bothering him at all.
Obviously.
They don't want any excuses or alibis. They're not that kind of basketball team. They're a great spurt basketball team. Look at a rotation.
And a personal foul called on Sam Perkins.
What they do there, Rich, is they invite you to throw the backdoor pass, and they rotate over from the weak side to give help. Take a look right here. There's the backdoor pass, and here comes the rotation. Doherty over. They slide the guard down. A little bit late with their rotation, and therefore we have the foul. There's Mr. Perkins.
That's only Sam Perkins' first foul of the evening, and only the 15th foul on North Carolina. Miller at the line, shooting 2.
I was with a lot of former Tar Heels, Al Wood, James Worthy, Bob McAdoo recently when I did a Laker game, and Wood playing with Seattle, the Supersonics. We watch him throw up. That's a brick, and he's normally a good shooter.
That's the first missed free throw of the evening, too.
Dean says, come on, Michael, get back on the floor. Come on, I need a few more points. Help me out. But anyway, you know, McAdoo was telling me, he said, there's no question in my mind that Perkins is going to be a fine NBA player. He said his shot blocking ability, he plays much bigger than his 6'9" frame, and he's amen on that. There's no question about it. He plays like about 6'11".
Michael Jordan back in for Cecil Exum as Jimmy Miller hits his second free throw attempt. 24-19, 5 points for Jim Miller tonight. North Carolina by 5.
A lot of pressure on the basketball. Now they back off. They're going to sag inside. Playing very soft on the ball now and jamming inside, trying to take away passing angles and lanes.
Why not? 11 points for Michael Jordan. You know, an interesting thing about Michael when he's out of the game, he can go back in basically anytime he wants to. All he has to do is signal Dean Smith that he wants back in, except when he's in foul trouble. Jimmy Miller shots up no good. Steve Hale brings it up court for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Well, if I had a player that great, he can do anything he wants. Go back in, do what you want, Michael. Just take me to the promised land.
It's like the Oakland A's letting Ricky Henderson steal a base anytime he wants to, or at least go down on them.
Talking that baseball now, this is ground ball. Now, you're going to lay that diamond squirt on me?
Okay, whistle on the play.
First foul on Wilson.
That's the foul on Othell Wilson. That'll be his first personal.
They said Wilson was brilliant out in San Diego when they beat the San Diego State basketball team 81-65 in the finals of that tournament. They said he played superb basketball.
You know, those 2 games are the only 2 games this year that a Virginia player has scored over 20 points in a single ball game. Sam Perkins at the line shooting 2.
They also had another impressive win out there as Perkins delivers on the free throw line to beat Marv Harshman's Washington basketball team, and Washington has an outstanding team this year as Carolina leads the ACC in free throw shooting.
Sam Perkins, 6 points on the evening. Let's give Sam 7. He's 5 for 5 from the free throw line. 28-19, North Carolina by 9 points. 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the first half of play. We'll be back with more Atlantic Coast Conference basketball after this brief timeout. You know, when you talk about Coach of the Year candidates, you got to think about the man who's been at the helm of the DePaul Blue Demons now for 42 years,
well,
Ray Meyer.
Well, it's a swan song, and I know everyone's rooting for Ray. He's got an outstanding team this year as we look at the backcourt statistics here with Carolina with the lead 15-6. Anytime you have Michael Jordan in your backcourt, you're going to be on a plus side. You mentioned Coach of the Year. Some interesting as we watch a trap right here. Good half-court pressure. That's where you got to get the ball. And then bring it to the weak side as they're doing right now.
Rick Carlisle, 15-foot jumper. It's the heel of the rim. Michael Jordan up with a basketball. Over to Kenny Smith underneath the Perkins. There it is!
Well, what a trio. Jordan, the Smith, the Perkins. Three bona fide supers. When you talk about supers on a 10 scale, they are 10s.
30-19.
They're saying, take a look at us, America. We are the best.
When Virginia got that one lead at 18-17, it woke up the North Carolina Tar Heels because since then it has been all North Carolina.
Well, they're a great spurt basketball team. They're capable of getting that 11-1 on you and blow you away.
Jim Miller working it in, no good. Brad Daugherty with a rebound to Kenny Smith. Smith over to Steve Hale, and he is just crunched. But they're not going to call a personal foul. They're going to say nice defensive play turned in there by Rick Carlisle.
Well, Kenny Smith has to learn just a little bit better judgment on a break. Really gave him the ball in a very tough area to shoot the basketball. He has to use a little better judgment in coming down, pulling up at that foul line and making a good pass where a guy can run that 45-degree angle, Rich.
And that should show you how strong Rick Carlisle is, too. He's 24 years old, by the way. Big fella, strong fella, seasoned, veteran player. Perkins underneath, working on Polynice. Shot's no good. A whistle coming over the back. It'll be called on Brad Daugherty. That's only the 16th foul on the North Carolina Tar Heels, and on Brad Daugherty, that'll be his first.
Well, you know, the Brad Daughertys and the Matt Daughertys on the basketball floor don't get a lot of recognition except in the eyes of their peers and the people they play for, their coaching staff, and certainly their opponents. But they do all the little things on the floor that really you do not recognize in the scorebook at the end of the night. And it's great when you have two supers and you got some people that can play that role play in basketball.
North Carolina by 11, 30-19. 1:52 remaining in the first half. Virginia will retain possession of the basketball.
You know, Carolina comes off those three impressive victories in 1 week on the road. Wake Forest, North Carolina State, and Maryland. And I was impressed with Lefty Drizel's basketball team as they're in a 1-3-1 zone now. Now they change defenses. They'll trap on a wing if it goes to the wing.
Oh, no arch, just drilled it through.
Well, once he learns how to really be a good post-up player as well as a wing player, he's going to be one of the premier power forwards in the nation. Remember, he is a freshman. 6
points for Tom Sheehy. Les Kiter, the old basketball announcer, would have called that one a ringtail howitzer.
Well, you're a long time ago, Les Kiter.
How about that one?
He's demonstrated tonight that he has good perimeter range. Michael's been an inconsistent shooter. His shooting and his scoring has been a little bit down this year, but we know he can shoot the basketball and he can certainly drive to the goal with it.
Well, he only has 13 points so far. Polynice underneath, trying to work over Brad Daugherty. And the personal foul will be called on Brad Daugherty. We'll send Holden Polynice to the line shooting two, and
there's some heated words on the floor right now between Sheehy, I believe, and as we watch the ball entered inside. Strong move by the freshman Polynice from New York City, All Hallows High School. Goes up, gets fouled.
First trip of the evening to the free throw line for Holden Polynice. 60% shooter from the line. Second personal on Brad Daugherty.
Not too much pressure coming in, trying to replace Ralph Sampson, but he said it the best. He said, you can't replace Ralph Sampson. He's one in the world, and he's right about that. There is only one, not Ralph Sampson.
Well, Polynice makes them both. 32-23, North Carolina's lead trimmed down to 9. Ricky Stokes checking back into the Virginia lineup.
Terry Holland definitely would like a little spurt here to make sure his club doesn't go in halftime and double digits. Psychologically, that is really mind-boggling to a basketball team.
He selects him into the North Carolina lineup to Joe Wolf,
especially
Buzz Peterson, Kenny Peterson, 15 for Kenny Smith.
Well, they're giving up that wing jump shot and that baseline jumper, and they're putting it down today.
34-23, North Carolina by 11. Wilson in the lane. Puts it up, puts it in.
Well, Wilson did a great job of squaring up with his body, putting the jumper down.
And they're going to call blocking on Othell Wilson.
And Wilson looks up at the official and said, no, I'm the senior, he's the freshman, give me a break.
That's what Terry Holland's saying over there, too. Terry Holland grew up about an hour and a half from here in a little town called Clinton. Here's the replay, Dick.
Oh, I thought without a question that was a charge. I thought he was there, planted. But again, they're entitled to miss one. I will not tell the supervisor of officials. Go ahead, give us a little act now. What a body he's got. Very strong, impressive player, Wilson. Fred Barakat. I will not tell Fred Barakat, the commissioner in charge of the officials of the ACC, that they missed one.
Well, that's the first free throw of the evening missed by North Carolina.
They're entitled to miss one. You and I have missed a few already tonight.
More than a few. Here's Sheehy in the air, rolling around, no good. Polynice with a rebound, puts it back up and in. Olin Polynice, 8 points tonight.
I'm really impressed with the 6'10 freshman. He's going to be a good one in the ACC.
Buzz Peterson. And that's the end of the first half of play with the score. The North Carolina Tar Heels 34, the Virginia Cavaliers 27. Back to Carmichael Auditorium on the campus of the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. The host Tar Heels leading the Virginia Cavaliers 34-27. Michael Jordan 13 points in the first half. Sam Perkins 9, and I think Dick Vitale, that tells a big story.
Well, you know, Jordan, if you look at their offensive charts, he has taken 152 shots this year. Perkins 131. And it's very important as a coach in structuring your offense to make sure your key players take the most shots. As we look at the stats here, the real differential is the field goal efficiency. 52% for North Carolina and only 39% for Virginia. Basically everything else is very, very similar.
You know, Dick, coming into tonight's game, Virginia has allowed only one opponent to shoot over 50% against them this season. That was the one game they lost, 78-72, ironically in Charlottesville, to a young and upcoming Duke Blue Devil team.
Well, we look at the rebound totals right here. Very interesting. Virginia out-rebounding North Carolina by 3 on the boards. Turnovers are about even, 8-6, and fouls 10-7. Also, we look at the individual scoring. Polynice leading with 8 and Sheehy with 6. The freshmen are 1-2. They need more scoring out of Wilson and Carlisle in particular. They're seniors. They have to have more proficiency out of those two players.
Well, looking over the scoring right there, we saw Olin Polynice leading Virginia, but there's Michael Jordan, 13 points. Sam Perkins, 9. The foul category, very important for those big fellas.
Well, you know, I wanted to mention about Jordan taking 152 shots and Perkins 131. The next closest player is Brad Daugherty with only 88 shots. And to me, that demonstrates that they know their limitations and they know who the key people are on the floor.
We're back to action here, starting the second half. North Carolina on top by 7, 34-27. Matt Daugherty to Kenny Smith.
Notice on the wings how they sag inside.
Brad Daugherty banked it up a little bit too hard, but there's Perkins, and he has it taken away by Othell Wilson. To Rick Carlisle, and he muscled it up and in.
Well, good execution by Wilson on the transition. He pulled up, 2-on-1 break, a little wider than the foul line, and gives it off to Carlisle. Very important if you're behind and you're on the road to set the tempo in the first 3 minutes after halftime.
Sam Perkins from the free throw line, up and in. A soft touch.
Well, that's just a free throw shot for Sam, and he's so efficient on the foul line, you can't give him that open jumper.
11 points for Sam Perkins tonight.
There's the double up on the post. Every time it goes down inside, they'll trap on the ball.
Miller banks it up a little bit too hard. Sheehy comes down with it to Carlisle. Passes up the shot. Wilson takes it, though. Finds nothing but net. 6 points for Othell Wilson, 36-31. Virginia to within 5. Early goings here of the second half.
Wilson at times is a real outstanding basketball player. He's just got to be a little bit more consistent, and he has been this year. His sophomore and junior years were in and out years, had an excellent freshman year.
Sam Perkins hooks it up, rolling around, no good. Perk fighting for the rebound, but Othell Wilson brings it down. Over to Jim Miller. Jump hook, no good. Rebound, Sam Perkins.
Well, Perkins rips it up. You expect him to rebound. You know, Othell Wilson averages 6 rebounds a game.
Michael Jordan, 15 points.
Well, when he hits that jump shot, Rich, he's unstoppable because now you have to come up and honor him and play him tough. And now he'll go right by you with that great first step.
North Carolina again by 7, 38-31. Sheehy, left-hand corner.
Defending basket by Sheehy.
Well, Sheehy's an excellent shooter. For a big guy, he has great touch.
8 points for Tom Sheehy, freshman out of Rochester, New York.
He played for McQuaid Jesuit High School and was heavily recruited. There's Terry Holland and his staff. He's got a real, I call him the chairman of the boards. He's got about 6 guys. Seth Greenberg, Jeff Jones, Davey Odom on his staff. It's unbelievable the number of people there.
Matt Doherty for the Tigers. 40-33, Carolina again by 7.
Doherty always seems to come up with a big play.
4 points tonight for Matt Doherty. Here's Michael Jordan batting it away. Kenny Smith up with it, over to Jordan. Thrown away.
Well, again, I'm talking about judgment. I talked about it a little bit earlier in transition, Rich. Right there, he should have utilized the bounce pass, but these are things that he'll gain with maturity. I'm talking again about Kenny Smith, but he has all the instincts and the awareness, and most of all, he's got that natural talent that you can't teach, that born quickness.
Kenny Smith, just a freshman. And people down here are comparing him to Phil Ford, and you don't get much better than that.
Well, Phil was a great point guard on a collegiate level. When he used to go to that 4 corners, he used to wave the white handkerchief and say, I give up. I know I did when he came over to University of Detroit. They got the lead.
There's Sam Perkins getting some floor burns right there. The ball over to Matt Doherty. Doherty stops at the line to Kenny Smith. Underneath the Brad Doherty. He takes a shot up and in, and he's fouled.
Well, you know, Doherty gets credited for the little jumper as a three-point opportunity, but you know whose 3 points those are? They belong to Sam Perkins for scraping his knees on the floor. And we take a look at it right here. There's your All-American, and this becomes contagious. 41 going for the loose ball, the All-American Perkins. And up they come in transition and convert this to a three-point opportunity.
And speaking of 3, we've got Jimmy Miller now, Dick, with 3 personal fouls. Could be a factor because we're early in the second half, 16:39.
Well, they're looking at Sam's hand right now. He's wearing that heavily bandaged. I guess it's his thumb on his right hand, which certainly is a blessing for them since he's a left-handed shooter. But you know who? All these critics that said the kid doesn't play with intensity. He can lace up his shoes and play for me any day of the week. He's just a poised athlete who goes about it in a very low-key kind of way.
And you were so right saying Sam Perkins made that play. Carolina up by 10, 43-33, but Polynice underneath makes it 43-35.
Tremendous pass by Wilson. Wilson's really playing like an excellent point guard now.
Kenny Smith.
They have to do a better job of matching up and shutting off the perimeter game. Carolina's getting too many easy jump shots.
Kenny Smith called for the personal foul. That'll be the first team foul on Carolina here in the second half.
Well,
there's your buddy coming back in there, Dick.
Well, he gets back right on the floor. You know, talking about Kenny Smith, I have such respect for Jack Curran as a coach. He's really truly one of the great high school coaches in America, along with Morgan Root, Red Jenkins at Woodson High School in Fairfax, Virginia. But he told me, he says, Dick, Kenny Smith is legitimate and will be a great one at Carolina. And he is right.
Joe Wolf worked for that rebound to Kenny Smith. Down to Matt Doherty, dishes it over to Perkins, and it is still loose. Steve Hale into the crowd. Oh, Steve Hale. Dick Vitale ended up about 4 rows in the stands.
Well, I know his pop is very proud of that. Every coach loves to see players dive in the stands, and his daddy used to coach, as I said earlier, Oral Roberts University.
We've got timeout on the floor with a score. Carolina 45, Virginia 35. Back right after that.
You look at the scoring totals right here, 15 and 11, 1-2 punch. You know, you mentioned Iowa. My buddy George Raveling struggling a little bit down there, but he's a communicator, a motivator, and once he gets play out of Stokes and Payne, the Hawkeyes will be heard from in a Big Ten.
Here's Odell Wilson, 15-footer.
Very impressive second half by Wilson, really playing like a blue chip guard.
He's got 8 points so far. 4 here in the second half.
They're playing a lot tougher on the basketball now, putting a lot more pressure on the ball.
45-37, North Carolina by 8.
You have to give something when you play Michael Jordan. You have to make a decision, and they made the decision to give him the jumper and not the drive.
A little short that time by Kenny Smith. There's your buddy Othell working in, Dick. And Sam Perkins clears it off for Carolina.
That was a good shot by Wilson. He penetrated, got into the lane for the little jumper. It just didn't fall.
There's Sam Perkins. He can hit from out there. Attaboy, Sam. Make us look good with that.
Well,
he sure can.
He's got that soft touch. He's got the great rotation. He squares his body. He's going to be an excellent finesse forward in the NBA, where they're talking a lot now about getting guys that can play both the small forward and the big forward slot, and he fits that bill. Very flexible player.
Perkins with 13 points tonight. And they're going to call the 5 seconds on that.
That's a violation. Earlier I talked about the jump ball and its alternate possessions, but if you force with the 5-second violation them to pull up on that basketball, it's a violation. You get possession of the ball.
Steve Hale working hard out there on defense for Carolina. He's very happy being a role player, Steve Hale.
Well, people should be happy here in Carolina. To me, they represent like the Dallas Cowboys. I love their uniforms.
Well, what can we say, Dick?
Well, right now you got to go up and check him, and if he's going to beat you with the drive, let him beat you with the drive. But you got to go up and play him and deny him that basketball.
49-37, Carolina by 12, their biggest lead of the evening. Get Needland in the lineup for Virginia.
Needland got in foul trouble really early tonight.
Rick Carlisle forces one up. Kenny Smith comes down with it. He leads the charge to Michael Jordan. Jordan,
Well, Jordan made a great play, taking the ball to the goal, changing to his left hand, but Kenny Smith gave up the basketball a little too soon. He gives him the ball about 19 feet away from the goal. He hangs in the air, lays it on the glass. Kenny should take one extra dribble before he had given up that basketball. Just a tremendous play by Jordan in transition.
Well, Michael Jordan so far with 19 points.
You know, Rich, how do you stop using every adjective to describe the kid when you watch moves like that in transition? Just a great acrobatic play. He's going to be a definite super in the NBA at the big guard slot.
And he wants to complete 4 years here at Carolina. That should be pointed out. He's not the least bit tempted at this point to go hardship. 52-37, Carolina by 15.
Well, there's no longer anything called hardship. I'll get into that. Good rebound by Perkins. You just make yourself eligible for the draft.
Carolina by 15. But at this point, Michael's saying, hey, I'm going to stay here for 4 years. He wants to win another national championship, well, maybe 2.
Most of all, I think he'd like to get that degree. Something I always respected Sampson for.
And Perkins with a jump hook.
Well, he takes the jump hook, and a little different than his normal jump hook, and the crowd certainly loves it. He uses his right hand to show his dexterity.
Hey, that's a big word.
I don't know where I pull that one out of. You got to help me with that one, Rich.
Got it out of the Funkin' Wagners. He's got it right in front of him. 13:02 remaining in this basketball game. Carolina by 17, leading the Virginia Cavaliers 54-37. We'll be back with more ACC basketball after this brief timeout. Great college basketball coming your way Saturday here on ESPN. 2 top 20 teams from the Big Ten. The Purdue Boilermakers taking on the Illinois Fighting Illini from Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois. That'll be Saturday, January 21st at 9 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time.
Well, you know, we mentioned Ray Meyer as a potential coach of the year. Right in that game you're talking about, Gene Cady and Lou Henson have done an unbelievable job after their clubs lost Russell Cross and they lost Derek Harper. As we look at the scoring again, 35 points from their 1-2 tandem. Also, other guys for Coach of the Year honors. You got to talk about Dean Smith naturally. You got to talk about Jerry Tarkanian, and Bobby Cremins down at Georgia Tech has done an unreal job in the way he's rejuvenated that whole city. And Haskins down at Texas El Paso. You got to remember the Big Bear.
Tom Sheehy a little bit too hard. Brad Daugherty the rebound. Long court pass to Matt Daugherty. Daugherty's pass over to Buzz Peterson. In the air, no good. Tapped by Brad Daugherty. Puts it up, gets it the second time.
Well, Daugherty looks a lot quicker on the interior. You know, he gets sort of lost with all the great play of Jordan and Perkins on the floor, but he's such a plus. And now they jump into a 1-3-1 active zone.
7 points for Brad Daugherty, the sophomore from Black Mountain, North Carolina. Othell Wilson in the air, a little bit too hard. Loose ball, Kenny Smith down with a long court pass to Matt Daugherty. His shot's nice defensive play by Othell Wilson. Ricky Stokes leading the charge up court for Virginia.
Carolina's zoning and they're going to release out of the zone. Now they go back to their man-to-man. Now they got me confused. I think they're zoning.
Buzz Peterson with a steal to Matt Doherty.
They were zoning in that possession.
Now, if you were confused up here, what do you think Virginia was down there where they don't have the advantage that we do?
Well, you know, I think in that situation, Carolina, some of their players were playing man and some playing zone. They changed defenses so often.
Well, nobody came out to help Olin Polynice in the backcourt there. Wilson finally came, but Sam Perkins called for the personal foul as he was going for the steal. Interestingly, Dick, that's only the second personal foul of the second half on the North Carolina Tar Heels, and the second foul.
There's Wilson coming back defensively with the great block. You know, when he was a freshman, as we take another look at it here, there's the block by Wilson, squares his body. Remember, he's like 6'2" against a 6'6.5", 6'7" player. But I remember when he was a freshman, Curry Kirkpatrick labeled him as the best defensive guard possibly in America. And we know the kid is an outstanding defensive player.
Olin Polynice, no good. Michael Jordan eventually comes down with the basketball.
Good rebound by Jordan. People say Curry Kirkpatrick. Yes, he's the writer for Sports Illustrated and knows his basketball.
And we might add, a graduate of the University of North Carolina.
Uh-oh, I didn't know that. Is that why he writes all those beautiful stories about the Carolina blue and white? Oh, Curry, now I understand.
Boy, Curry, you're not going to be talking to me when you come back into this area. Michael Jordan. Missed that time.
He's entitled to miss one now and then, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only 8 for 11 from the floor tonight. Carolina doing a lot with the basketball, and they're really working around Brad Doherty, 9 points.
He's much quicker than he was last year. Lost a little weight, posts up real strong inside. I was talking to the Wake Forest coaches today, Ernie Nestor, the scout. He said he's become a real positive force in the middle.
There's Tom Sheehy's up to 10 points. You know, Brad Doherty's also gotten a little rougher underneath. He's starting to dish out more.
The amazing thing is he's only 18 years of age. He was the youngest freshman in America last year at the age of 17, playing his first game.
We'll have some lineup changes. Jim Miller coming back in for Virginia. Steve Hale replacing Matt Doherty for North Carolina.
Jimmy Miller comes on the floor, and last year he'd come off the bench, and he'd give him, as we look at the field goal shooting here in the second half, 6 for 15 versus 11 for 19. And let me tell you something, it's going to be mighty tough to beat somebody when they're shooting 11 for 19. But Miller gave him instant offense off the bench last year.
Rick Carlisle checking back in for Virginia. 58-39, North Carolina by 19. The thing you got to like about Jim Miller, too, Dick, he's a scrapper. They're down by 19 points. He's back in there fighting like it's the opening minute.
Well, this team certainly won't quit. Maybe Terry's going to make a phone call as Michael looks there and says, come on back, Ralph, I could use you tonight. Come on, Ralph. There's Wilson taking the drive, gets fouled on it. Ralph's got a night off tonight. Maybe he can come out and help his alma mater.
Question, how many games eligibility does he have left? Second foul on Michael Jordan of the evening.
Well, we look at Dean Smith right here, and I'll tell you something, 23 years here, 14 years in a row with 20-game win seasons, 9 straight NCAA appearances, 7 times to the Final Four. You name it, he's done it. I have all the numbers, and that's why he is now a member of the Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Also an Olympic gold medalist, coached the Olympic gold medal team in '76, and a national championship in '82.
He won the NIT, the NCAA, and a gold medal, as you mentioned, in '76, and only one other coach accomplished that goal, Peter Newell, when he coached at the University of California, Berkeley, and his son is here tonight. I had dinner with his son, Tom Newell, a knowledgeable basketball scout, and also the commentator for the Virginia Network.
You know, interesting thing, Bobby Knight has a shot of doing that too this year if the U.S. can win a gold medal at the Summer Olympics. There's Othell Wilson. The basket will count, and the personal foul on Brad Doherty.
Well, Wilson has tremendous strength when he takes the ball to the goal. The thing I like right now is Wilson's trying to show some leadership on the floor. There's the good anticipation. We'll see the steal right here. The ball's bobbled. Wilson now, good instincts, takes it right to the goal, hangs in the air, draws contact, and is fouled on a play.
58-43. North Carolina on top of Virginia by 15.
Well, you know, we were talking about Dean. He has such loyalty from his staff when we talk about Guttridge and Fogler, and we look at Terry Holland on the other end of the floor. Jimmy Larinaga, another one of his members of his staff. I talked about the size of that staff. I believe they got 6 guys total.
Dan Merrifield.
Dan Merrifield checking into the lineup for Virginia, replacing Tim Mullen.
You know, Mullen played so much last year. This year he's not seen as much playing time, and his shot really has disappeared. He's only shooting about 33% from the field, as opposed to in the past where he was an excellent wing jump shooter.
Virginia working the press, but Carolina breaking it with very little difficulty.
Smith went down the wire, you know, with Virginia and North Carolina making his decision. They thought they had a great shot, Virginia, of recruiting Kenny Smith.
Well, Ricky Stokes almost saved it, but referee John Clougherty says he was the last man to touch it.
Well, we look at the double team right here. There's the ball going out of bounds. Good play by Stokes.
Stokes right out of the Virginia lineup now.
You know, that's one of the reasons probably Smith didn't go there, knowing that Wilson, Stokes, and Carlisle were all underclassmen. Mullen's a much better shooter than that. I know the kid is
very atypical.
Well, he's just really not in a flow and doesn't feel it. He's a much better shooter than what we've seen.
Well, Othell has come to life here in the second half, Dick. 13 points now for Wilson in the ball. Oh, look at Michael Jordan. The jackknife just hanging in the air. A little short that time. Wilson right up court for Virginia. Stops, pops two. And now that 19-point lead, Dick, is down to 10. And Dean Smith saying, woohoo, timeout.
Well, you got to credit that guy, number 11, Wilson. He's playing like an NBA first-rounder here, really dominating it late in the second half.
So we got a lot of time to play basketball. 9:55, North Carolina at 58, Virginia 48, back after this. Back to action here at Carmichael Auditorium. The long court pass to Kenny Smith. Whistle on the play, and Ricky Stokes will be called for the personal foul.
They set that play up for Rich during the timeout. And they threw the long pass down to Smith, break into the goal. Excellent play, goal from the bench.
Second personal foul on Ricky Stokes. Only the second team foul on Virginia here.
You know, Rich, they got back from 19 down to 10. Virginia, and sometimes you can give all of that effort, and then they get that spurt, Carolina, and just blow it open.
Well, here's an opportunity to trim it to 8. Jim Miller banks it up. Brad Daugherty clears. Long court pass to Matt Daugherty.
Carolina's really releasing on a break.
Matt Daugherty banks it up. No good. And they're going to call a blocking foul on Ricky Stokes.
That possession on the other end of the floor where Miller missed the open jump shot is really big. As Smith throws a little dump down into Daugherty, and there's the block. He gets right under him. The defensive player was not stationary. You know, Daugherty, we talk about the intangibles that he does on the floor as we look at the backcourt scoring right now. In the second half, Virginia 15 versus 8, and that's all because of the play of that guy, number 11, Wilson. But he does all the little things. He picks up the charge, he makes the steal defensively, gets the big rebound, blocks out when we're talking Daugherty. And he's just such an outstanding athlete. His choice, by the way, came down to Notre Dame and North Carolina, and he played for an outstanding coach, Bob McKillsop, who is now the coach of Lutheran High School, who was formerly the coach of Holy Trinity in the island where Matt played his high school basketball.
Daugherty goes 1 for 2 from the line. North Carolina back on top by 11, 59-48. 9-12 to go in this basketball game.
They got to score in his possession.
Othell Wilson does just that, Dick. Well, Othell Wilson, 13 points here.
Well, he's saying, hey, you guys can talk all you want about Michael Jordan. I'm a great player. Give me my recognition.
Well, there is it a turnover? No, North Carolina will keep possession. 17 points for Othell Wilson, 13 here in the second half.
Well, there's Dean, and he's concerned right now about their offensive efficiency and the way they're executing. We watch Wilson. He takes it right at Michael Jordan. He says, in your face, Michael. I'm going to show you an All-American move. He hangs, takes it, lays it on a glass, and says, thank you, MJ. I'm a player, too.
59-50. Whistle. And they're going to get Brad Daugherty for the personal foul. For Daugherty, that is his 4th personal, Dick. And the 15th foul on the North Carolina Tar Heels here in the second half.
4 fouls since Daugherty. We have 3 each on Edelin, Miller, and Wilson. We have 4 on Brad Daugherty.
You know, we have enough time left in this game, too, Dick, where personal fouls could be a factor. It's only a 9-point game.
Well, Well, Terry Holland, very intense competitor. There he is, biting his lip. He's got to be impressed the way his kids have battled back, have shown a lot of character. They could have rolled over when they were 19 down, as we look at the foul situation we just talked about, and yet they didn't. They came back through the leadership of Wilson. They're back in this game.
Carlisle to Jim Miller.
Carolina changing defenses. They're now in that 1-3-1 zone.
Underneath the Edelin. Good shot by Kent Edelin.
Well, any kind of scoring he got out of Edelin is a real plus because he's a defensive player and he makes the steal.
Oh, he heard you. There he is.
And he scores on the other end.
Now this is a 59-54 game. North Carolina's 19-point lead has all of a sudden been trimmed down to 5. Matt Doherty loses the handle. Othell Wilson comes up with a basketball. Here we go the other way.
They're losing a little bit of their poise.
Blocked by Sam Perkins.
Put the score down and remember that block shot. That has a way of creating some. That's why the guys at All-American, they needed a big play and he made the big play. And that was a big play.
Joe Wolf underneath. Joe! Gets it to Matt Doherty. Out to Kenny Smith. Over to Michael Jordan. Up and short. Jordan back with the basketball.
Well, Perkins kept it alive. Just the little things that a guy like that with those arms can do. Really impressed with Virginia, the way they've scrapped back in this game.
There's Michael Jordan. Fall away jumper, no good. Carlisle with a rebound.
Not a good shot by Jordan. Falling away off balance. I know it's tough to criticize it, but really not a good shot at that time. They had to get better execution offensively.
Virginia can pull to within 3 with 6:06 left in the game. Othell Wilson gets it off to Edelin for the slam. Kenton Edelin, 6 straight points.
Well, Edelin
for Virginia.
He wants to technically, thought he grabbed the rim, but you know he scored. But you got to really give credit to Wilson with the great creative basketball play on the floor to make that happen.
There's Ricky Stokes with a steal. Whistle on the play, and Kenny Smith will be called for the personal foul. Virginia, Dick Vitale has gotten this down to a 3-point game, 59-56, 5:46 to play.
Well, not only do they have down to 3, they're really confident. There's Stokes right now, quick hands, leads the club in steals. He gets fouled after he makes the steal. There's another angle. Watch him reach in on the freshman right here. He's going to strip him with a basketball. Kenny Smith's losing a little bit of his poise right now, which is something that he hadn't done all year. And look at Terry Holland. I mean, he is smiling. He loves it.
We have got ourselves a basketball game here at Carmichael Auditorium. 5:43 to play. North Carolina 59, Virginia 56. We'll be back right after this. We have got 5 minutes and 43 seconds left in this basketball game. North Carolina 59, Virginia 56. North Carolina led in this game by 19 points. It's been whittled down to 3. Last year, Dick Vitale, a barn burner was played here where the roles were slightly reversed. Virginia went out in front by like 16 points with about 7 or 8 minutes to go. Carolina won it on a dramatic play by Michael Jordan.
Well, maybe we have a deja vu again as we look at the real reason, the turnover ratio, 9-4 is the brain trust with Virginia. It's got to be excited to be in this situation. Look for the crowd to get this team juiced up right now.
Carlisle to Othell Wilson. Wilson has been the spark plug for Virginia here in the second half.
He's played like an All-American guard in the second half. He's hit the perimeter
Here's
jumper.
Wilson, 20 feet.
He feels it.
Net.
He feels it. He's playing with tremendous confidence. This is the best I've seen Othell Wilson play since his freshman year, playing superb basketball.
19 points, 15 in the second half, 59-58. Carolina's lead is just 1. Matt Doherty.
They're looking to go inside to Jordan now. He's trying to post down inside. Got a mismatch size-wise. He wants the basketball. Look for them to reverse the ball to Jordan. There it is.
Jordan up. Jordan in. Mr. Clutch.
Well, that's why I talk about PJ time. Perkins and Jordan, when you get down to what is called crunch time, they want the basketball and they deliver.
61-58. Carolina again by 3. Michael Jordan, 22 points tonight.
2-3 zone right now by Carolina. They've rotated out of a 1-3-1. It actually becomes a 1-3-1 when the ball goes to the wing. Virginia's showing a lot of poise now and execution against the zone.
There's Wilson again. 20-footer short this time. Look at Kent Needland get that rebound.
He's been really impressive coming in here late. Doing a great job with 6 straight points, some good defensive plays, and a good rebound.
Carlisle, 17-footer, in again, out again, and it will be off of Kent Needland. Needland didn't like the call. John Clougherty right there for the call, though. And Virginia full court pressing.
There's Larinaga standing up, the assistant coach, directing traffic. Watch the double team here.
And we have a whistle and a personal foul.
Well, remember, if it becomes a free throw shooting contest, they lead the ACC in free throw shooting. Carolina does, shooting 77% as a team. There's Dean. He has to be concerned. He's telling him, be patient, calm down, play with poise, play like that Carolina blue that we talk about, tradition. Uh-oh, they're going in their 4 corners. They're going to spread open the court.
Well, they can do it now because we're under 4 minutes. 3:45 left to go in this game. Carolina by 3.
And Doherty gives them another ball handler on the floor.
Here's Jordan into the lane, dishes it off over to Brad Doherty, but there will be a personal foul called on Ricky Stokes.
Well, Jordan saw an opening in the defense, wanted to fly down the lane. Here he is. He wants to get the ball into the middle of the court where he can pass right or left. They have a triangle inside with Doherty and Perkins on the blocks.
Carolina not in the 1-and-1 yet. 4th personal foul on Ricky Stokes. Smith inbounds it to Matt Doherty.
They'll spread it out.
At this point, Carolina not in any hurry, Dick.
Well, they're going to play with a good shot. They're not going to put it on complete ice. Can't turn you back like Doherty did there. As soon as you turn you back, you're susceptible to the double team. Virginia
has a history of playing Carolina's 4 corners very well. They defensive 4 corners very well, but I don't think so. Whoa, there we are. The dish off to Jordan, but they're going to get Kent Needland for the personal foul. Kenton can't believe it, but I think there was some body there, Dick.
Well, their bench can't believe it either. There's the pass inside. Jordan goes, oh, I thought he had all ball.
That angle looked clean. I agree with you on that one.
Official looked at number 23 and he said, you know what? You're player of the year. I got to give you a little break, Michael Jordan.
I got to agree with you there. That would look like a clean block on the replay. Terry Holland very, very angry. The guy from nearby Clinton, North Carolina, played his college basketball under lefty Drizella Davidson. Michael Jordan at the line. He'll be shooting a pair. North Carolina on top by 3, 61-58, 3:11 left in this game.
Well, this has got to be a much better situation coaching now in terms of relieving pressure. I mean, in Ralph Sampson's era, they wanted just perfection. You couldn't afford to lose a basketball game. It takes a little fun away from it.
He misses the first one. Kent Needland, by the way, with 4 personal fouls. Tom Sheehy checking into the Virginia lineup. They'll be replacing Jim Miller. Referee Tommy Frame waiting till everybody lines up before he gives Michael Jordan the basketball. Looks like we're doing a little bit of switchy underneath there.
Well, Jordan shooting 76% so far on the free throw line, and there's some conversation going in about positioning. He has to stay in the lane that he had at the time the official handed the basketball to him.
North Carolina by 3, 61-58.
We talk about a late bloomer. Michael Jordan didn't get any recognition. Makes the foul there. He was a rising senior until he went to the 5-star basketball camp. So we look at it, a 4-point lead. And Howard Garfinkel saw for 5 minutes, called the presses, told him to stop the presses on the Street and Smith All-American team for his senior year. Put him down as an All-American. From that point on, it's been history.
Michael Jordan hit his number tonight, 23 points. Carolina by 4.
They're in that zone, hands up. Allowed to play with the basketball on a perimeter, trying to take away any entry to the interior.
Here's Sheehy, the freshman, from the corner. Air ball on the rebound by Michael Jordan.
Really a big possession. Sheehy's normally a good weak jumper, so it's tough to criticize the kid taking that shot. They want to keep the floor open. They want good space relationships so you can't double them up.
Underneath the front, Doherty for the stuff.
Well, nice bounce pass. Doherty open for the layup. Smith and Doherty slap 5. They're so tough down the flux. They did the same thing to Maryland. It was a 1-point game with 2 minutes to go, and they blew it open.
11 points for Brad Doherty, 9 here in the second half. Kent Needlin underneath Sam Perkins, and he'll be called for the personal foul. For Perkins, that'll be his third personal.
Wanna wow.
Well, Edelin's really improved as a free throw shooter as Dean's giving out signals right now, and Terry's certainly a little down over the last 2 minutes. They really battled back, and he's got to be, as we said, proud of that. But Edelin is not what you would call a good free throw shooter, even though this year he's really improved. He's shooting 66%.
Edelin will be at the line shooting 2. 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in this game. North Carolina leads it by 6. 64-58. 2 very important free throws for Virginia right here. Kent Needlin at the line, just a 60% shooter.
You know, it's an amazing stat that I picked out of the statistics. 55% is all the people that are playing Carolina are shooting against them. And that tells me 2 things are happening. One, either teams are intimidated when they go on a foul line and they feel the pressure and they lose their concentration. Or 2, Carolina does a great job of scouting and fouls people that do not have good reputations on that free throw line. 55% is amazing.
Edelin 1 for 2. Some subs checking in. Dan Merrifield checking in for the Virginia lineup. Sam Perkins in the backcourt, hounded by Edelin. Doherty picked up by Merrifield.
Looking for a double team, looking to rotate out of their man-to-man into trapping situations if the ball comes on the wing.
1:50 remaining in the game. Matt Doherty back out to Kenny Smith. 64-59, Carolina by 5. Sam Perkins over to Matt Doherty.
Carolina has 2 timeouts left.
Doherty into the lane, decides he's going to come back out, but he's fouled from behind by Kent Needlin, and that'll be Edelin's 5th personal foul.
Certainly can't question the effort by Edelin. He gave 120% here tonight, number 30. Really gutty performance.
Carolina's got the 1-1.
You know, it's amazing about Kent Edelin, a tremendous story for young kids out there, Rich. He was a walk-on, came here as a freshman without any scholarship, and today became a scholarship player. And he's going to be a law student after he's done at Virginia.
And it's a pretty well-known story, too. He's caught the favor of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he suffered that fractured cheekbone in practice. There's Edelin leaving the lineup. You can see those goggles that he's wearing to protect the cheekbone and the eye. Had some bone grafted from his rib to rebuild the cheekbone. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sent him a pair of his backup glasses, which really are kind of like a very expensive pair of racquetball glasses.
That's really nice of Kareem, but you know what, Terry? Holland sent a message back and said, Kareem, send him that sky hook. And there's Dean. I mean, he had to sweat this one out, huh, Dean? It wasn't too easy today, huh, Dean? Look at Matt Doherty. You talk about confidence. He just says, give me the basketball.
Virginia's lineup, Merrifield, Carlisle, Cullen, Othell, Wilson, and Ricky Stokes. Doherty sinks the first end of the 1-1, the front end, and that's important.
He's a confident youngster. He really knows his limitations on the floor and does what he does best. He's really
both.
Intense basketball, good role player, plays excellent defense. There they are in the 1-3-1 zone. Look at him bouncing, hands up, very active.
66-59, North Carolina by 7 over Virginia.
Notice the way Kenny Smith turns his body to cut off the reversal of the basketball, which is so important in attacking the zone.
Virginia's worked the ball already for about 20 seconds without a shot, but there is Jimmy Miller putting one up and in.
They need that kind of scoring out of Miller. He's kind of quiet here in the second half.
In fact, that's his first 2 of the second half.
Yeah, he was very quiet tonight. He's a much better scorer than he demonstrated.
66-61, Rick Carlisle called for the personal, reaching around on Matt Doherty, so Doherty goes to the free throw line.
I like this Virginia basketball team, and Dean feels a little bit more relieved right now. It's getting a little easier, Dean. Go ahead, and there's Terry. I'm telling you something, Terry's done an outstanding job this season, but it's not going to get any easier. They go to Clemson, they go to Georgia Tech, and they go to Wake Forest. If they can survive that stretch, somehow get 2 out of those, if they lose here tonight, they need 2 out of 3. They're really going to make a run at people, especially for the second slot, because I think it's locked still for North Carolina, Rich. I think that they may be the first team since 1974, when David Thompson was doing his high wire act, to go unbeaten in ACC competition.
Matt Doherty sinks them both there, Dick, and this is a Carolina trademark, really. The clutch free throws down the stretch. 68-61, North Carolina by 7. Rebound taken there by Jimmy Miller, puts it up and in, and we'll have a timeout called immediately by the Virginia Cavaliers. 68-63, 51 seconds remaining in this game. So there's still a lot of basketball to be played here at Carmichael Auditorium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We'll be back with the final 51 seconds after this timeout. Maybe about 12 minutes ago, Dick Vitale, people would have started filing for the exits. North Carolina up by 19. Virginia made a comeback, got it to within 1. Now North Carolina leads by 5.
Well, no more timeouts for Virginia. Remember, you only have 3 with the TV timeouts now as opposed to the 5. But you know, back in '82, when Virginia hooked up in the ACC championship, as we look at Dean Smith, the guy down the clutch on a free throw line who converted him was Mr. Cool, Matt Doherty. And tonight he makes 4 clutch free throws. And I know that staff has to be disappointed, but mighty proud of the effort. I know the Doherty family back in Long Island are saying, way to do it. That's our boy, Matt.
Look at this. This game's not over yet. Jimmy Miller banks it up and in off of the field, and he's fouled. It's a 68-65 game. Jim Miller has woken up with a couple of quick baskets. He goes to the line. Look at this, Dick Vitale.
Well, there's the steal. Miller takes it up. Good pump fake. He gets Perkins up in the air. Gets banged on it. Gives that little fist. Yes. There's another look at it. There's Perkins losing control of the ball. Then he bangs Miller from Princeton, West Virginia. He has scored 7 points in the last 2 minutes.
Hey, 68-66, a 2-point game. 4 personal fouls now on Sam Perkins. There's Terry Holland going to the subs now, going back to that defensive lineup. This is how he defenses the 4 corners. He goes to his defensive lineup, uses any break in action to get a lineup change. It's like a football game with him substituting.
Well, he subs offensively and defensively. He was one of the first to start that. That's where you want the basketball, in the middle of the floor.
Look at this. Here's a steal. We could be going to overtime, Dick Vitale. Othell Wilson down court in the lane, up, rolling around. No good. Loose basketball. Virginia retains possession. How about that? 68-66, 17 seconds left. And Dick Vitale, I would venture to say, here's that substituting again. Dean Smith looking on, concerned. Virginia's holding for the shot.
Well, there's a sloppy passing. They don't come and beat the basketball. Smith doesn't meet the ball. Here's Wilson with a good shot.
Here we are, back to live action now. Carlisle working it in. We've got 6 seconds. Shots up, rolling around. Out again. Loose basketball. Perkins has it. Whistle on the play, and a personal foul will be called on Dan Merrifield. 1 second left. North Carolina 68, Virginia 66. What a comeback by Virginia, and that ball just pops out.
I mean, that shot was halfway in the basket, no doubt about it. Really a tough break for Virginia. They played their hearts out here tonight. And as the Carolina bench, they're smiling. They know looks like it's a W. I don't want to say it's definite, but it's a W.
Maybe. I would venture to say you're probably right, but you never know with the way that Virginia has managed to come back. It was like some magic invisible hand came up underneath that basket and just popped it out of the cylinder because that ball was headed down.
Well, you know, 3 players late in the game here just were outstanding. Jimmy Miller, Edelin, and Othell Wilson in the second half. They never quit. They don't know what that word means, and they battled back. And if they play with this kind of intensity, there's going to be a lot of W's for the people in Charlottesville.
Well, that should ice it right there. If there was any doubt, that'll do it for Sam Perkins.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I was Dean, I'd be a little upset. My club, you know, when I say that was my club, because they got a little cool at the end. They started to handle that basketball. Well, there's a little battle going on between Dean verbally and it looks like Terry or something. You know, when you look at it, you think about it, they really got sloppy against the pressure, and you're not going to win big games in tournament time losing your poise, and they lost their poise.
Well, that's the ball game. Othell Wilson's final shot hit the scoreboard. North Carolina holds on to win it, and I think that's the correct term, Dick Vitale. Hold on. They held on to win this game, 69-66, over a determined, comeback-minded Virginia Cavalier team.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a rout and a 19-point lead. We're in tremendous command. But then Othell Wilson just took over, and it was the Othell Wilson show after we watched the Michael Jordan show in the first half.
69-66 the final. That's it here from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. For Dick Vitale, this is Rich Brenner saying so long from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. North Carolina